welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joined this week are Ed Gamble, Maisie Adam and Michael Odewale, Rhys James, Hugh Dennis and Angela Barnes. And, of course, as the coronavirus crisis continues, we will be performing between Perspex as we have already. We have no studio audience with us under the regulations we currently do. Instead, we get to look into people's homes and spot possible points of burglar intrusion as the course of the game. So, spot the weak points. That's the game we're playing tonight. Give it up for us in crowd. We start tonight with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Michael, which category would you like?
Can we have home news, please?
You can, of course. Your topic is home news. The answer is 5. What is the question?
Is it the amount of votes Trump thinks Biden actually got?
Is it how many times an hour do you hear the phrase, do you know, I think I had it in January?
Is it how many times yesterday did Priti Patel flush a colleague's head down the nose?
Is it what is the percentage success rate of the Oxford Brooks vaccine?
Is it what channel's election coverage is just a bloke watching BBC News going, have you seen this?
Is it how many black people in a Sainsbury's ad before people start complaining?
Is it how many metres is the required social distancing in Melania Trump's bedroom?
Is it during lockdown, what time do I call whole bottle of Scotch o'clock?
Is it halfway through this second lockdown, how many plaits can I now get in my pubes?
Gotta have a hobby.
Is it what age did Dara start losing his hair?
Oh, this early!
Actually, it was 20.
Is it what's my average daily step count for 2020?
Is it how many minutes into the new series of The Crown was it before I was Googling Princess Diana conspiracy thing?
Is it, taking into account the rule of 6, how many spaces are left at Priti Patel's office Christmas party?
Is it how many people have actually been contacted by Track and Trace?
It's how many people on this Zoom are wearing trousers?
Does anyone have the correct answer, please?
How many days are we going to have to be with our families at Christmas?
That's essentially correct. Thank you very much. You're absolutely right. Yes, the question I was looking for was, how many days is the government considering relaxing COVID rules over Christmas? This is news that government ministers are in talks about easing COVID-19 restrictions for 5 days over the festive period, which could involve allowing up to 3 households to mix. However, health officials have warned that each day of freedom could cost 5 days of tighter restrictions either side of Christmas. So, this seems if it's going to happen. Will it make a change to your Christmas plans?
I'm worried that if they're opening bars, that there's going to be Christmas parties, and Christmas parties are a super spreader event. I've worked in some rough offices. I worked in an office once, it was so rough. In the Secret Santa, I got a morning after pill.
You know, if we're all travelling, that means the death rate's gonna go up. And that's changed the way I'm looking at buying presents. You know, I was gonna buy my granddad a phone on a 12-month contract, and now I'm thinking pay-as-you-go is probably the best way to go about it.
It changes everything. It changes the hymns. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a persistent cough.
No one asked for 5 days either. I don't know where they've got 5 days from. Everyone's going, we want Christmas Day with our families, and the government have called their bluff and gone, all right, 5 days. They're going, OK, 2. Please, not 5.
It's going to give a new, darker meaning to the phrase, oh, go on, it's the holidays. You know, people used to say that to justify having 1 more mince pie, not to having 1 less grandad.
I'd be perfectly happy to spend Christmas here with all of you.
Yeah, but this is more than 3. We couldn't do that. It's a nice gesture.
Oh, my gosh, there's 7 of us.
There's 7 of us.
So who would
The entire
leave?
thing. Who would
I don't mind bowing
First
out.
one in, first one out.
Well, you're already making plans to get out of here. I'm sorry.
No, I just like, yeah. I'm not sure how it looks like if I go.
Yeah, that does seem like you have to
I think
stay.
I have to be here.
And by the way, may I just say to our Zoom crowd, little early on the Christmas tree. Little early on the Christmas tree. No, it's November.
It's 2020, Dara.
What was the good news from Oxford this week?
They've developed a vaccine.
They've developed a
Tara.
vaccine. Absolutely, they have. Yeah.
In the course of a day, it went from 70% effective
Yes.
at lunchtime to 90% effective by the 6 o'clock news. It was amazing.
Well, it says it's 70% effective, and what the Pfizer one is 95% effective. We've still ordered, 5 million doses of it, which shows that it's the same as in the comedy industry. You can be shit as long as you went to Oxford.
Yeah, I feel like, because I went to Greenwich University, so I don't know if I can make fun of the Oxford vaccine. Like, we're testing Cowpole, like, that's where we're at.
It's going to be so embarrassing that we've got to do this one. America have got a proper one that works, and we've got this 70... Essentially, our mums at Christmas are just going, oh, the man in the shop said it's just like the Pfizer vaccine.
Mom, you bought me a Y box.
There's people refusing to take vaccines going, I don't know what's in it. They're the same people who eat Iceland sausages. These people who don't... the anti-vaccine people, do they think that there's a chip in vaccines that is going to track...
Wake up, sheeple, there is.
Imagine being that arrogant, thinking the government want to track me. Like, trust me, the government do not want to inject me with a vaccine to track what I'm up to. They'd be sat there, first day, they'd be going, is he going for another shit? We've spent millions on this secret chip to inject infants, and he just goes, computer shit all day long. Oh, fridge, shit.
I feel bad for the Russian vaccine, because they just made theirs too quickly, do you know what I mean? It's like when you order an Indian takeaway, and the guy's like, I'll be there in 15 minutes, and you're like, nah, take longer. That's too soon. You didn't spend any time on my food, did you?
I'd like you to cook my food. Thank you very much. Yeah, because there's bound to, like, there's a fourth announcement due to happen from somebody that are rushing this, who are getting this out fast, and there'll be some scientist with one huge eye and blue skin going, it's pretty safe. They go, you sure you've tested this? Totally tested? I'm totally sure. It is maybe the most British thing I've ever seen, that you've devised a British vaccine, right? Only the third in the world, and the tone here is being, nah. Whereas in America, we're like, yeah, look, we've driven back COVID. Here it's like, nah, it's all right. Where were we? What £7 billion plan has Boris Johnson announced?
Is that mass testing?
Mass
Is that what
testing.
you're saying? Of everyone, all the time?
He's announced mass testing
Every 15
just after
minutes.
3 separate vaccines have arrived.
Yeah.
So he's announced the one thing we don't need, that at some stage, just after we've got the vaccine, well, what's this for? Oh, we thought we'd test you as well? I've just got this. I just got the vaccine, I don't need it.
We talked about mass testing before, and he said it was like a pregnancy test that you can do every day. And I thought, you're the only person I could think of who'd need a pregnancy test every day.
It's typical, isn't it? Because you know that on the day that the last person in Britain is vaccinated, he will announce that track and trace is finally working.
Have you had a test?
Have I? Yeah, I've tested. I get a test every week for this.
What, we don't?
You don't?
I have not.
I'm sorry. Whoa. I'm the one who should be going, you don't? I get tested every week. Every week.
So, Dara, does that mean you can lick us and it'll be fine?
Well, yeah, but it would be wrong.
I mean, not in a
many other
BBC
ways.
way,
I mean,
it wouldn't, but...
that's not my only judgment of whether I can lick other people I work with. Is I'm COVID safe. Let the slathering begin.
Oh, Dara, you can let a girl dream.
And the points go to Ed, Maisie, and Michael. Woo. Now we play a round called Wham Bam Thanks Van Tam. This game involves Angela and Maisie. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. First topic is health. Maisie.
Big year for health, am I right? And I recently got a call from the NHS asking me to come for my first ever cervical screening exam, my smear test. But the doctor called me in. He said, Miss Adam, I hope it's OK with you. We'll need to get a female chaperone for this exam. I said, yeah, of course, that's absolutely fine. I don't know about you guys, but I assumed when he said a female chaperone, I just assumed he meant female health worker. What I did not assume was Sharon off of reception. So imagine, if you will, I am already lying down on the table, like legs akimbo, in the stirrups, and from behind the curtain, like some sort of budget stars in their eyes, Sharon appeared. Like, tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be checking out your fanny, right? Thankfully, she came up and joined at the top end rather than the business end. He was at the business end digging for gold. And she stood over me and maintained what can only be described as the most intense eye contact I've ever experienced in my life. And the reason I know this was because I made the fatal mistake of looking up at Sharon and locking eyes, at which point I thought, you're in now, you've got to say something. So I said, how have you been? Have you been busy? Like I got in an Uber. And I thought she'd find this as uncomfortable as me and try and cut it off. No. Sharon took this as an invitation for a deep, meaningful chat. She went, do you know what? I won't lie, it's been really, really hard. It's been really difficult. We've never been under such a strain as now. The NHS is really, really struggling. The phone lines are going off the hook. We've got too many patients, not enough doctors. I'm not seeing my family half as much as I wish I could. Her voice started cracking. She went, everybody stop clapping on a Thursday night. And I didn't know what to do, so I grabbed her hand and I said, Sharon, I'm so sorry you feel like that. I'm so sorry. This is during my cervical screening exam. A man is inside me. I said, I'm so sorry you feel like that, Sharon, but I just want you to know you're so appreciated, and it's people like you that have kept this country going, and I'm really sorry you've been made to feel underappreciated. And then, from between my inner thighs, the doctor looked up at Sharon and went, do you know what? She's right, Sharon. You've been brilliant. He then turned to me and went, what say you and I give Sharon 3 cheers, right? I don't know how this pandemic is going to end, but quite frankly, any healthcare service where we are encouraged to sing a song of support to the lady from reception during our smear test with the added encore of for she's a jolly good fellow is a healthcare system worth saving.
Thank you very much, amazing. OK, that leaves us with Angela. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is exercise.
I do exercise, surprisingly. I do. I recently did the Couch to 5K app. I don't know if you've seen it. It's absolutely brilliant because it starts you off really slowly. So you sort of run for 30 seconds, then you can take a break, which I took to mean I could have a Kit Kat. So... And it's great as well because you can download a celebrity voice to be your sort of guide, your coach. And I downloaded Sarah Millican because she's a mate of mine, and I thought that would be nice, but I had to change it because I kept calling her an arsehole. I changed it to Lawrence Fox. That solved that problem. You run a lot quicker when you think that prick's behind you, let me tell you. My boyfriend, he's a proper runner. Like, he does these ultra marathons. He did one recently that was 100 miles. Like, 100 miles, that's like a fifth of a Proclaimer, right? But I did do it. I finished the Couch to 5K, and last year I did my first ever 5K race, which is brilliant. They gave me a medal, and doesn't it feel brilliant as an adult to get a medal? Doesn't it? You get them all the time when you're a kid. They give you a medal for tying your shoelaces, won't they? Do you remember when you were in the Brownies and the Scouts? They used to give you all those badges, keep you incentivised. Why does that have to stop? You know, I definitely do my tax return on time if I got a badge. Why can't we get badges for adult things? Not adult things. That's... Here's your blowjob badge. Definitely get it, but where would I sew it on? Did you know, in the Brownies now, they are thinking of introducing a self-esteem badge. Yeah, how shit are you going to feel if you don't get it?
Thank you very much, Angela. Points for everyone. Come on back. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what is happening. So what is going on here?
Is this the Penguin realising Batman's beaten him again?
Oh, looks like someone forgot to book the Melania double.
Is it Donald Trump going, come on, you can see what I mean? It was fraud and you're invisible and you voted.
Is it when you're feeling woozy when the bleach in the veins start to hit?
Has he misinterpreted the phrase sitting president and things? If I just never stand up...
Has he finally realised that he does actually have quite small hands?
Is this just Donald Trump shaking hands with his most recent sexual partner?
It's just behind that red wall, you can hear his aides going, what do we do? Do we wake him up again and tell him he's lost Georgia for the 3rd time?
Is he looking down at his spot in hell when he dies?
As one of his team just said, don't worry, Donald, we can have our own inauguration right here in the garden.
Has his mum forgotten to pick him up from the G20?
Someone is about to go, President number 46, please.
Do they know what the correct answer is?
I think that's Donald Trump.
Thank you very much. Very good. Yes, this is US President Donald Trump, who this week finally authorised his team to coordinate with President-elect Joe Biden's incoming administration. However, he's still refusing to concede the presidential election, which was called for Biden nearly 3 weeks ago, insisting that he is moving full speed ahead with his legal challenges. So how have they been blocking Biden's transition team?
They've been refusing to release the cash to pay for the transition, so Biden was having to crowdfund for money to do the transition. You know, it's going to cost him a lot of money, the whole transition. Think of the amount of stair lifts he's going to have to put in the White House.
The thing is, though, everyone said it was bad he was having to crowdfund it, but he's, like, in his 80s. Just a couple of laps of your garden, that's 60 million easy.
I don't think Donald Trump should have to pay for it. It's like someone breaking up with you and then going, oh, just before I go, can I have a bit of money? I'm going on a date.
It's just mad it's gone on this long. Like, when I was last on this show, it was election night, and we were all going, oh, I wonder what time we'll know what the result is for definite and what time we'll see the concession speech, whoever that might be. That was 3 weeks ago. And there I was going, Boris delayed his briefing and it ran into Strictly, and that is not on. That's mad! 3 weeks they've been waiting.
In the style of people who, you know, don't want to leave a house, they have to be brought out, taken out of the house, like whatever. Trump is in the White House at the moment, sewing himself into the curtain. So that's, for years we go, can you smell Trump? It feels like Trump's still here, and he's in the pelmet.
I heard Trump is going to skip the inauguration, which a sitting president hasn't done since 1869.
Yeah.
And Biden should know because he was there.
He seems to be Trump's playing a massive game of pensioner chicken, where he's just seeing how long he can string things out and hope Joe Biden dies before him. He's going to run out of legal challenges and then just start making stuff up properly and accusing Joe Biden of being 3 kids in one big coat.
But haven't they officially declared it as, like, the most secure election in American history?
Yeah.
Like, loads of things. I mean, that is a kick in the teeth for someone trying to prove the opposite, isn't it? Yeah. Basically saying, not only did you not win the beauty pageant, this is the most vomit we've seen from a judging panel.
He's doing what I used to do when my mum came to pick me up from a friend's house. She'd be going, 5-minute warning, we're leaving now. I'd be going, Mum, I'm doing a jigsaw in the Oval Office.
Let's hide.
Eventually he'll leave, though. He will leave the White House. Biden will
to.
go in, but he'll do something like just refusing to give Biden the Wi-Fi password. And then we'll spend 4 years with an offline president. We've had all these years of Trump doing these mad tweets, and with Biden we'll just get a newsletter at Christmas.
Because it is. I mean, I don't know if you've ever moved, if you buy a house and people, and it's a bit tense in the process, and you go in the first day and you turn on the light switch and then go, oh, you've taken the bulb. What kind of assholes take the bulb
Dara,
from the house?
Did you just turn to us and say, I don't know if you've ever moved?
If you ever bought a house, when you've moved,
I have
and
moved.
they have,
No, it was worse. It was worse. He looked at the young people and went, I don't know if you've bought houses.
Sometimes.
And we all collectively effectively went...
It's all right,
no.
They take all the bulbs, they take the curtains, they take the bulbs, they take everything out. Yeah, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry if I've alienated you by pointing out. Yeah.
No, I was trying to get a riff going. I've bought a house. Sorry, Maisie.
Yeah.
Hang on, what? Have you bought a house? Michael, have you bought a house?
I haven't even bought a light bulb. So
What was notable about Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani's recent press conference?
This is terrible. He started to... It was quite hot, wasn't it? He started to sweat and he started to drip hair dust down his face during the thing.
I don't know about this, Dara, because I obviously don't dye my hair, but just remind me, is it a good thing when your lawyer's so nervous he leaks from the head?
And actually, not just... it's on both sides. It came down on both sides. It actually ran down...
I'm not being funny, but this is the photo that I took into the hair salon to get this.
Imagine finding Rudy Giuliani in 2019 and telling him what his future held. Going, look, you're going to have quite the 2020. First off, you're going to be caught with your hand on your dick in the Borat sequel.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then you're going to accidentally hold a press conference at a landscape company. And I'm not finished here, Rudy. Then you are going to melt.
It's amazing, though, with a team, him and Trump mates, so he can't go out when it's humid and Trump can't go out in a high wind. It's sort of like...
normally, Giuliani sees anything black running away from him as a good thing. It's a surprise for him.
The thing is, Rudy Giuliani is such a liar, he's about to tell Emily Maitlis he's got a condition that means he can't sweat.
Hey, look, earlier on, I mentioned about how we're checking out your houses for burglary. Obviously, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't dream of, you know, stepping into your homes, because I'm sure you're very nice people and you're probably, you know, tooled up for such a thing, aren't you? You probably got, you know... Hang on, oh, what the hell?
Someone's got a fire extinguisher.
Scimitar? OK, the cuddly toy isn't going to work. Just so you know that. The cuddly toy is the least effective thing.
The guy with the gun is brandishing it. The woman next to him is wearing shades, and I'm just concerned that she's blind and doesn't know he's got a gun.
I honestly, really, seriously, if you've got to laugh at all out of you people, I'm happy just to back away.
I like that couple on the cream sofa just casually brandishing a hammer and a knife. It's like the most lethal episode of Gogglebox.
I hate to say it, but the man with a hammer genuinely looks like a serial killer.
But he clearly couldn't choose a knife, so she's just brought the whole knife selection.
Maybe she's going to throw them, and then it'll go dong, 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 like...
Sorry, is somebody holding up a copy of The Watchtower? Who are they coming up against? Jeremy Corbyn?
At the end of that round, I give the point to Angela, Hugh and Ree. Now, we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a blockbuster movie.
Unfortunately, this year's Hunger Games has had to be cancelled thanks to Marcus Bloody Rashford.
You talking to me? You talking to me? As I say, Mrs. Patel, sometimes it's just your tone.
I'm sorry, Mr. Batman. The mask has to cover your mouth.
He says he's going to kill you, but he won't. He's just being silly. Stop being Darth Vader!
Stella! Stella! So you have to order on the app.
We need to join forces to become a pantomime horse. You be front. I'll be back.
Vodka martini, shaken, not stirred. Oh, go on, and a bag of Frazzles.
Everything I touch just turns to ice. I can't give hand jobs away.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't kill you. It's illegal. Well, game, set, and match. I can't apologise enough.
Wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. God, this is a good episode of Naked Attraction.
All the superheroes are sat cross-legged on a sports hall floor in Avengers Assembly.
I mean, you can laugh, but I did that one in Series 14, so, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah.
I am Batman. Do you have any strepsils?
I don't know what happened. I was just making love to John McClane and then he passed away. I guess it was a good day to die hard.
I don't know what happened. I was just making love to John McClane, and then he passed away. I guess it was a good day to die hard. Just use whichever one you prefer.
You had me at hello. You lost me at send nudes.
I see dead people, OK? And they all voted for Sleepy Joe Biden.
You're not the president. You're wearing a disguise. I've just ripped the president's face off.
Say hello to my little friend! Mr. Sunak, if you could just outline the budget.
Of course we need a bigger boat. You cannot catch a shark in a fucking pedalo.
The next topic is things you never hear in a science documentary.
And your host is not Dara O'Brien.
The UK consumes more coke than any other country in Europe. So why can't I find my dealer anywhere?
Hi, I'm Brian Cox, and I'm here with my favourite bald comic companion, Tom Allen.
The human body is 80% water. What would it feel like if it wasn't? Well, much better. I've needed that piss since breakfast.
There's two main rules when it comes to magnetism: attraction and repulsion. Sorry, not magnetism, Tinder.
And this right here is the exact spot where man crawled out of the sea and attempted to walk. Welcome to Ibiza Uncovered.
So I dedicated my entire life to becoming a rocket scientist, only to discover years later that it didn't impress Shania Twain at all.
NASA have finally solved the problem of lack of motivation at work with this, a rocket small enough to put up your arse.
The planet used to be one large landmass called Pangaea before its inhabitants voted for Pangexit.
If you look around, chemistry is everywhere, except in my marriage.
Well, stand back and put your safety goggles on, and let's see what happens when I pop a Viagra.
We finally discovered what dolphins are actually saying to each other, and it turns out they're quite racist.
Welcome to the documentary you switched to when your mum walked in on you watching porn.
Well, we've got it up to 70%. That's enough, isn't it?
Some say science and religion can't mix. But if not for DNA, we wouldn't have caught these priests.
As Archimedes lay in the bath, he made his greatest discovery yet: Dick's float.
And that was Buzz Aldrin there, talking about, believe it or not, the fucking moon again. Jesus Christ, mate, change it up.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Maisie and Michael. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Angela Barnes, Hugh Dennis and Rhys James. Commiserations to Michael O'Dorawry, Maisie Adam and Ed Gamble. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Liam's life isn't going to plan, so he looks back to his ladhood for clues. Press red to watch now on iPlayer. And the music can stay as long as hipster jeans don't make a comeback. Fern Cotton brings you the sounds of the 90s on BBC Sounds. Next here on 2, the Mini Mash Report.